What's up, everyone? This is Emily, aka MHags Art, back with another monthly bullet journal setup. So make yourself a cup of tea like I am, get cozy, and enjoy. Today I'll be setting up my March 2021 spreads, and my theme for March is Steven Universe. If you're not familiar, Steven Universe is an animated series that aired on Cartoon Network. Some people might know it because it does receive a lot of hate for some reason. I don't really know why. It's one of my favorite shows, so I definitely recommend it. Because sometimes you just gotta ignore the haters, you know? For the title page, I really wanted to use watercolors again in my bullet journal. Last month, I used watercolors for the first time to paint a scene from Tangled. So if you haven't seen that video and would like to, there is a link in the description below. So anyway, for the cover page, I was inspired to paint the laundry hand that serves as the title card for every episode of Steven Universe. It's just so iconic, and I really wanted to fill the whole page with like a landscape, so I thought this would be perfect. For March, I paint the font to look like the Steven Universe font. I never knew how difficult it was to draw bubble letters on a slant, but after a lot of sketching, I think I got it to look alright. I think Steven's little clothes hanging from the clothesline is just too cute not to draw. But yeah, this is my favorite part, which is the hand of the statue that the laundry area is on. After layering up the watercolors and adding speckles on the stone and speckles of moss, I think it really pulls it together. I just love how it turned out. Then I decide to add an outline to March just to polish it up and have it stand out a little more. I debated if I wanted to add a quote or not because I usually have a quote page next to my cover page, but I was just so happy with how this cover page turned out, and since my calligraphy skills aren't the best, I was afraid if I added a quote it would ruin the whole overall effect of the piece, so I decided to skip the quote page this month. Next up is my important dates, media tracker, and a place to write down my favorite things from Steven Universe. Instead of using watercolors to paint the headers, I just used my Crayola Super Tip markers to make it a little easier and a little faster. I then included two little doodles from the show, a bag of chaps. I don't know if you're supposed to yell chaps, but in my head I'm always like chaps, which are Steven and Centipedal's favorite chips. And then of course the iconic Cookie Cat. For the important dates calendar, I write it out as a list because it's quicker and easier, and I feel like I have more space to write homework assignments and due dates and such. Then I write in my favorite characters, my favorite fusion, which is Stevani, although Smoky Quartz is a close second. My favorite songs, which honestly I should have made this section a lot bigger because there's so many songs from the show I love. So sadly I couldn't include them all here, but some other ones I didn't get to include that are kind of like honorable mentions are pretty much every song from the movie. Change Your Mind and Distant Shore are some of my other favorites. And then I included a list of my favorite episodes as well. I set up my habit trackers using this stamp I got from Sniggle Sloth on Etsy. And then for my mood tracker this month, it felt obvious that I had to do different colored gems. Like, how could I not, right? So I drew a bunch of different gem shapes, some from the main characters and some just like random. Each day I'll color one based on my mood that day, and I think it's going to look so pretty when it's all filled out. For my weeklies, I'm decorating each one with a portrait of a character from the show. So I actually painted all of these years ago. So my artistic skills, especially like my watercolor skills, I'd like to think have gotten better since I did these. But I thought using these would save me some time for making other decoration. And even though they're not the best, I still think they're pretty cute. And then for the days of the week, I just freehanded like a slanted block lettering, kind of mimicking the style of the Steven Universe font again. For my last spread, I have my goals and my review page, which again, I'm using my Crayola Super Tip markers to draw the headers. And again, just doing it in the style of the Steven Universe main title font. Then I paste in these pictures I painted along with the other ones that were from a few years back of Sapphire and Ruby. To cover the empty space below Ruby, I used some washi tape, and then I end up going back through and adding washi tape in a few other spots so it all ties together. So here it is, my final flip through. I'm really happy with how the cover page turned out. I think it's so cute. There is quite a bit of buckling in the page, but I did use a good amount of water since I wanted the background to be light and soft so that the focus would be on the laundry hand. So I guess that was to be expected. And as you can see, some buckling on the next page too, but that's all right. I kind of don't mind it because it makes the bullet journal look actually used, you know? I like those imperfections sometimes, but... And I colored in the headers for my habit trackers. I think this page is going to look so cute and colorful once it's all filled in. Then we have our weekly spreads. First up is Steven. I added a strip of washi tape to each weekly to tie them more in with the rest of the spreads. I just thought they were looking a little too plain. And since I didn't do a quote page this month, I decided to include some of my favorite Steven Universe quotes on each weekly setup. Last but not least is my goals and review page. I usually like to include a place for gratitude log of some sort, but I couldn't find a spot for it in this month's setup, so I decided to just include an area in my monthly review to write down some things I'm grateful for. So that concludes my March 2021 setup. I will be posting new bullet journal videos every month. Each of my themes for 2021 is inspired by my favorite TV shows and movies. So far, I've done The Office, Tangled, Steven Universe, obviously. And next month, I'm excited to announce that I will be doing Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yeah, I'm excited. It's one of my favorite shows, so please consider subscribing. Again, if you're a fan of Avatar or want to see what other themes I do for the rest of the year, each new subscriber means so much to me, especially since I'm just starting out with my YouTube channel, so I really appreciate any support. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.